Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to talk about in this video Ryan Clifford. I'm going to give you a preview of what's going on here. Spring training. We're now at Tuesday, the Mets had a tie game on Tuesday. But here we got Ryan Clifford's preview for what we can expect. While the Mets might have cleaned house over the offseason, they tore down the roster more recently at the 2023 deadline, trading away stars and major league veterans. Now, Dave Stearns already said that Ryan Clifford is not going to be making the major league roster. He's going to AAA. The biggest trade at the time was sending Max Scherzer to the Rangers for Luis Angel Acuna, who was part of the trade package for Luis Robert Jr. this offseason. Next largest trade sent Justin Verlander to the Astros for Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford. Gilbert was traded in a package of players for Tyler Rogers at the 2025 deadline. Ryan Clifford is all that remains from the two big trades the Mets made in the 2023 deadline, and he's back in camp with a non-roster invitation this spring. He's coming off a couple of successful seasons at the minor league level. Previously blocked by Pete Alonso, Jorge Polanco was the one lone major league first baseman standing in his way. Clifford was ranked the 86th prospect in baseball in February by Baseball Prospectus, which ranked 7 players in the top 101. MLB Pipeline had Clifford as the 6th best prospect in the Mets system at the end of 2025, with a projection that the first baseman and outfielder will debut for the Mets during the 2026 season. In 2024, Clifford hit .228 across Brooklyn and Binghamton with a .372 on base and a .421 slugging percentage. His power really popped once he got to Binghamton, hitting 18 home runs over 99 games with a .133 WRC+, which was third in the Eastern League. His power ascension continued in 2025 when he hit .237 with a .356 on base in Binghamton and Syracuse, hitting 29 home runs and 23 doubles. Had a big power year. Clifford's numbers fed into the Pete Alonso debate this offseason. Arguments against signing Pete Alonso to any deal longer than 3 years centered around Ryan Clifford's future. After Alonso signed with the Orioles, Clifford's name popped up as a possible solution for the Mets signed Jorge Polanco. The Polanco contract takes the pressure off Clifford for now. That leaves Clifford with a few different paths to the majors, which are all contingent on him playing well in Syracuse in 2026. Barring injuries to Polanco, Mark Vientos, and Brett Beatty, as well as defensive metrics, Clifford will have to stay put in Syracuse for the time being. However, he could be the starting first baseman for the Mets in 2027. There's more shifting around the Mets infield. Dave Stearns has preached defensive versatility in his roster construction for 2026, and with Beatty, Vientos, Polanco, and Ronnie Mauricio, in the event of a Bo Bichette opt-out after the year, the Mets might be set. The Mets could also be looking all the way to the 2027 trade deadline, trading Polanco with a couple of months left on his deal and starting Clifford's time in the majors then. Clifford's other path to the majors involves the outfield. He played in the outfield about 40% of the time in 2025. The Mets prefer Carson Bench for the open right field spot, especially since the stopgap plan seems to be Brett Beatty, Mike Tauchman, and MJ Melendez. Clifford gets off to a really hot start in Syracuse. He could force himself in the conversation at some point during the season. This path seems less likely than the infield. Clifford is a prospect who will be ready to take that next step to the majors either this season or next. Multiple players blocking his path, it's difficult to see exactly where he fits in. A strong start to the minors could force his name into the conversation or make him into a trade piece for the July deadline. Now, here's the thing about Clifford is that he's not, aside from his power, he's not very athletic. Okay, he's not good defensively. He does get on base. They say he's he's not very aggressive at the plate. And that's the thing, the Mets are trying to get him to be more aggressive. His profile is very similar to that of Lucas Duda. Lucas Duda was a pretty good power hitter for a couple of years, 4 or 5 years. And that's kind of what Clifford is profiled as. When the Mets traded for him, had gotten him in the trade for Verlander, that was the name, the comparison was to Ryan Clifford, was to Lucas Duda. Now, I've not seen him, so I can't give you my assessment of him. But he's probably, if the Mets are in desperate need for somebody at first base, he'll be there if they need him this year. But in all likelihood, he'll be with the Mets next year. Or they can use him as a piece to trade him. So, at this year's deadline. But that's what we see here. He's not going to make the team coming out of spring training. He's still very young. He's still very inexperienced. So he needs a full year in AAA, in my opinion. But if they need somebody who has power, they can DH him if they have to. That's a possibility too. He's not going to be playing left field, as you know. Juan Soto's the left fielder now. The Mets pushed up the timeline on when they were going to put him in left. And Carson Bench is more athletic than he is. He's a better player at this moment. But let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later.